What's up, guys? This is Bill Brower with FMBA Nation coming to you from the remote podcast studio here. We've got another COVID-19 special talking with Michael Marino and Michael Sabato of National Life Group. Most of you are familiar with who these guys are. They've been speakers at our last two NJFMBA conventions, both the educational convention as well as our annual September convention. And they've also been a part of the Northern, Central, and Southern District meetings, talking about some of the things that they provide to our members as far as their products and services go. And, you know, it comes at a really important time here. This is a very different situation, something that we're all not very accustomed to, and it just highlights and exemplifies the need for the different things that you guys are able to offer. More importantly, you know, life insurance. We've unfortunately had the situation up in Passaic where a young firefighter recently passed away. One of our FMBA members, Israel Tolentino, passed away due to complications of the COVID-19 virus. We've had many other men and women in the NJFMBA that have been affected by this, either personally or professionally. And it's an important thing to talk about. I think what's important for us to really focus on here is, you know, how does National Life Group differentiate themselves from each other? So I'll let you introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into a little conversation here about what you guys do and how we can help the FMBA members.
So I'll start. Mike Marino, again, with the National Life Group, 30 years in the financial services business, doing exactly what we're talking about today, helping people with both their insurance and their investment needs. Again, just our unique offering, especially in a situation like this time. We do things a little bit differently than the other carriers that everybody might be familiar with, and looking forward to speaking about that. And with that, I'll introduce my partner of the last 26 years, Mike Sabato. Mike.
Yes, Mike Sabato, 26 years in the financial services business. I'd like to say that, when we say we sell life insurance, I like to actually deliver it as that we bring peace of mind to families and heroes like you. So we're going to elaborate a little more on that moving forward, and we're looking forward to talking with you here.
Yeah.
And I think more importantly, before we get started, just a shout out to everybody out there, and thank you for all that you do to protect us and our families. This is unprecedented what we're going through, and it, again, warms the heart to know that we have people of your quality out there protecting us.
Thank you for that. I know the rest of the membership can speak the same as I do, and thanking you guys for that. And we're out here on the front lines, battling this pandemic, and I think it's important for our guys and gals to understand that we have relationships and partnerships with companies like National Life Group, where you guys offer a benefit that really comes at a crucial point in our lives. And I'm guilty of it. I recently, reached out to you guys to try and get some more information, and with that sparked some questions I had and things like that. So I think having this conversation and talking about it might clarify some of those same questions and things for our members that are looking at, getting life insurance and protecting their families. God forbid, the event like that happens. But tell us a little bit about National Life Group. I know we've talked personally at convention. Give us a little information about how National Life Group differs from other life insurance companies and some of the specific products and services you guys offer.
Sure, I'll keep it simple. National Life Group's a 170-year-old insurance company. It's the second oldest mutual company in the industry. And they're known for, back in the 1930s, inventing a concept called living benefits, which, stated simply, is the ability to use one's death benefit on their life insurance policy for other things that might go wrong during your lifetime. Specifically, chronic illness, which would be things involving long-term care, where either you had to be confined to a facility or if you needed home care. Critical illness, this is the big ones, heart situations, cancer, stroke, critical injury, burns are included in that, traumatic brain injuries. All of these things are considered triggering events whereby if any of these incidents happen to you, you could submit your contract to our living benefits claim division, where it would be evaluated for severity, and then you could get up to 80 to 85% of your death benefit tax-free to use while you're alive to help get you through the medical situation that you're going through. Now, that message has been consistent since we've been integrating with the FMBA. We've spoken about that before, I believe, in the past, Bill. What I need to emphasize now is that with this COVID-19 situation, you need to all understand that if somebody acquires COVID-19 and it causes any of the many triggering events that allow access to the death benefit tax-free, you're covered. We have not pulled back on those offerings. Anybody that has a contract with us or is considering a contract with us, that coverage is available even in this environment. As other carriers are squeezing their offerings, whether by age group or by type of product that they're offering, we are further liberalizing our situation. I could give countless examples of that, but nothing has changed with us other than that we are reminding you all that a triggering event caused by COVID-19 is covered. Mike, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, and Bill, and we are not, if Mike didn't point this out, we are not discriminating against people in your industry, in your field, that are actually exposed day in and day out to the pandemic. So we are here. That's why we want to partner with you guys, and we want to move forward with you, and we want to deliver that peace of mind, like I said earlier. Like Mike said, we're not pulling back on our offering. We're bringing it straight to the table. A lot of the other big players in our industry are actually, their portfolio shutting down half their portfolios and products because they feel the exposure to them as an insurance company is there. We're not backing away from it. We want to go at it full force.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, it's reassuring and comforting, I think, to our members to know that they still have these benefits and these products and services available to them. And I got to be honest, we talked about this last September when I first got introduced to you guys, and I had no idea what a living benefit was. I mean, there's plenty of other people that I've met in the past, 10 years of my career here that have been offering different products and services from the financial aspect, and never once did I hear the mention of living benefits. So I think that's something that's very important for our members to understand and know what that is. And even more importantly, during this time period, having that extra security of knowing that if COVID-19, as you mentioned, causes one of those triggering events, you're still covered. So it's very, very important for our members to understand that message and to get that clear. I know one of the things that I've always thought about, and I'm sure plenty of our members have the same question, whether it be through National Life Group or through another insurance company, is how do you know exactly how much life insurance I should be carrying? I mean, my family, let's use my family, for instance. I've got me, my wife, and I got 2 young kids. I'm the breadwinner. I work multiple jobs, and my wife stays home. So maybe my situation is different than another family situation, but how do you go about determining that? And what can you say on those thoughts?
We typically use common sense, Bill. We use a theory called human life value, meaning what does it take to replace the human being financially for their family? Unlike other forms of coverage, let's say like auto insurance or homeowners insurance, where legally you are required to have proper replacement cost on the asset, right? None of us are allowed to drive down the New Jersey highways with just left side of the car insurance. No one's allowed to have homeowners insurance where they're covering
Hey guys, Bill Brower here with FMBA Nation. I wanted to take a minute to tell you about Servpro of Central Union County and Western Essex County. These guys are a trusted leader in the restoration industry. They provide 24-hour residential commercial services with highly trained restoration technicians. They're a locally owned and operated business, and they're dedicated to being faster to any size disaster with the training, equipment, and expertise to handle your restoration and cleaning needs. Some of the things that they cover are water damage restoration, fire damage restoration, mold remediation, storm damage restoration, cleaning services, and building services, to name a few. These guys understand the stress and worry that comes with a fire or water damage and the disruption it causes to your life and home or business, and their goal is to help minimize the interruption to your life and quickly make it like it never even happened. Our friends over there, Carl Spinner and Bob Morrison. Carl has over 25 years of experience in the industry. Bob Morrison has over 35 years of service industry sales experience. So don't hesitate to give them a call. You can reach them at 908-233-7070.
The kitchen and the master bedroom. Legally, you're required to cover the whole house. Well, no one legally requires us to cover our biggest asset, us, our ability to earn income for our families. That is our biggest asset. It's not your house, it's not your car, it's not your boat. It's you and your ability to drive income into your family. So typically, when Michael and I and our associates are creating insurance portfolios for people, we always say the amount is paramount. We need to make sure that if something happens to you, that you are replaced financially for your family. All of, we need to replace your income stream typically. People look to have their debt liquidated. If there are children involved, they look to have college funds put aside, emergency funds put aside. Even in a non-working spouse situation, to say non-working and there's children involved, there's no such thing. There is an economic value to the work that a non-working spouse that's taking care of children do. Think about what it would cost to have somebody come into your home on a daily basis to do what your spouse does for small children throughout their growing years. It would be pretty expensive. So again, when we're dealing with a non-working spouse, there is a way that we can, we use a formula to calculate, well, what would it take to make sure that if we took this person out of the equation, what would it take financially to replace that person? So again, it's a concept called human life value. It was not developed by us. It's actually developed by the court system to help with wrongful death cases. If somebody were run over by a Budweiser truck, the courts would use the human life value formula to determine for the surviving spouse how much they could sue Anheuser-Busch or InBev for. That's how it works. Well, we use it to help us calculate replacement costs on a human's life. It's a function of income. It's a function of age. It's a function of family situation, of existing debt, existing assets. It's all of these things. It's common sense, not difficult. We can usually come up with that calculation in a matter of minutes, and pretty much be on the money with what it would take. So long-winded answer, I apologize.
No,
but
that's fine.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
behind the curtain. That's how we do it.
I think
Bill,
the explanation is a good one.
Bill, the other piece of that is we are mindful of affordability also, because it's your dollars that you have to spend to purchase this coverage. So we're mindful of that. So we'll help you back your way into that number and say, hey, this is what I need, so my spouse and my children don't have to take a step back in life. They can continue on the path they were at and continue moving in that direction.
And to add on to the message that we were delivering before, to now know that there is this carrier in the National Life Group that makes those death benefit dollars available without having to pass away. There are things that can occur in one's life that cause a quote unquote living death, that incapacitate you, where having that money available on a tax-free basis could be the difference between financial survival or not for one's family. So again, emphasizing the importance of, it's not just, having the right amount of coverage, the right kind of coverage, it's what does that coverage do? Do you have to pass away to use it? And if the answer is, if you're not dealing with us, most likely, that's the coverage that you have. So it bears looking at, is all we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we've talked about this too. Cancer, you know, we've been working on the campaign here on trying to deliver a message to the membership. And cancer, as you know, is an epidemic in the fire service. Before this whole COVID-19 pandemic came about, you know, cancer and trying to control cross-contamination and all that kind of stuff has been one of the biggest fears in the fire service. And it's really nice and kind of comforting to see that being one of these triggers that covers your living benefit. Because, you know, I've started a couple of years ago the Mark Virag Memorial Cancer Fund. One of our members passed away from cancer, and we started this fund a couple of years ago. Been building it up year over year, and we're hoping this September we're going to make the announcement where we're going to start accepting applications to help financially offset some of the costs that we can for our members. You know, the hotel rooms, the travel expenses, gas, and little incendiary costs that these guys and gals come across when they're undergoing treatment. But to know that you have a product and a benefit such as that, and can accelerate the death benefit to help you get through and survive that is, I mean, that in itself, I think, you know, kind of sells the product that you guys have with regards to your policies and whatnot.
Bill, and I think it speaks a lot of National Life
Mm-hmm.
that we are aware that cancer is a problem within the fire departments. For us not to be riding that out on you guys
Mm-hmm.
is a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
We're willing to accept that challenge with you and work hand by hand.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Absolutely. The process, I mean, you guys have probably had to adapt like everyone else during this whole entire situation. What is the normal process like in terms of applying for life insurance or getting a quote or estimate? Can you describe in detail how one of our members would come to you guys and what the process is in getting started?
Sure. So Bill, I don't want to say it's simple, but it's never been easier.
Yeah.
For a member we can do it by phone. We can do it by Zoom meeting as we're talking right now. We can do it on FaceTime. We do an electronic application. 90% of the applications that come in do not require a medical anymore. So there's no blood and urine. They will underwrite. They are going to look at your DMV, and they're going to look at your prescription history, and they're going to look at your
Medical Information Bureau.
the Medical Information Bureau on you.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to do it underwriting remotely as we're going to do the application, but it's been simple. We've been able to turn cases around in 2 and 3 days. We don't guarantee that, because if they got to dig a little deeper,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But I'm confident in saying most cases that come across our desk these days are off our desk within a week, and people's coverage are in force. Now, if people want to take an application and submit a check to us, which we take electronically also, it could be a text picture of a check, we can bind temporary insurance on those people immediately.
Mm-hmm.
During the underwriting process.
During the underwriting
Right.
process. So unless something came back that wasn't disclosed on the application and something were to happen, that coverage is in play.
Yeah. So there's no time period in waiting between, say, applying, getting approved, getting the underwriting completed, and one of these conditions. Let's say you get God forbid, you get diagnosed with, one of the triggering events within 3 months of getting underwritten. That's still
No waiting period.
no waiting period.
Bill,
On the death benefit or any of the living benefits. In New
Correct.
Jersey, there's a 0-day wait limit on triggering events from critical illness, chronic illness, or terminal illness.
Mhm.
0 days. So right from the beginning of coverage, everything is in play.
Gotcha.
Bill, I had a young gentleman give me a call the other day, without getting into names, from the Passaic Fire Department.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked for a little while, and I talked to him about the living benefits, and he was completely enamored with it. Right. So he went into underwriting, and it looks like we'll have him approved this afternoon. It'll be completed and move forward. But he obviously recognizes the magnitude of the life insurance after dealing with one of his brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to put it into perspective, I call in, I say, hey, Mike, I'm interested in getting some life insurance from National Life Group.
Yep.
You guys send me some paperwork, or we can do paperwork over the phone, or whatever the case may be. I fill that information out. I get it to you, send it back to you. What happens from that point?
Yeah, Mike. Mike.
Yeah, you want me to handle that? It's very simple. We take the application over the phone. Before that, we can go over examples again via Zoom meeting. We can share the screen. We can go over, concepts on proper amount of coverage, proper mixture of coverage, keeping in mind someone's budget, and we can easily complete that application electronically, submit it electronically, and again, we should hear back within a day or two from underwriting whether or not somebody is approved. And it's then and only then that someone makes their final decision. Number one, do I still want to do it?
Yep.
Do I want to raise the amount of coverage? Do I want to lower the amount of coverage? What mixture of coverages do I? Oh, that does not matter until we come back to you with the approval. And then we can formulate and construct the portfolio to exactly match somebody's personal situation, because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's budget is different. Fortunately, our company manufactures everything that's available in the insurance space. So we don't have this product, we don't have that product. And again, all of our coverages include the living benefits. So,
Bill, there's a lot of people that will call us and say, I have a fixed dollar amount that I can spend.
Yeah.
So we just take that dollar amount, we'll back them into a number, and we'll try and insure them for the most we possibly can to give them a little ease.
Now, we talk about the younger firefighters, older firefighters. I mean, there's really no definitive time frame that you would say to somebody, you should get insurance by this date. I mean, in my opinion, our line of duty, almost everybody should have some type of life insurance, because everyone's got people and family and things they need to take care of. God forbid the unfortunate happens to them.
Sure.
But in terms of, going down that road, you're talking about, a member that might only have a certain dollar amount to spend now. Maybe 5 years from now, their budget increases, they get pay raises, this, that, and the other thing. They want to increase their coverage to even more down the road. Do you have a process for that as well, and how does that work?
Yeah, it's the same process, Bill. So life changes, right? I mean, you may have a new guy coming in, he might be 22, 24, 25 years old. 5 years from now, he might be married with a mortgage and a kid on the way. Well, his needs in life are a lot different than when he was at 22 or 24, 25 years old. So what he purchased then probably is nowhere near what he would need today. So we just redo the process. It's a simple process. We redo it again. He's still young. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully nothing has changed medically. We now insure him. He can keep that contract, obviously. And now we insure him for what the dollar amount that we need moving forward.
Gotcha. And
there's no limitation on how many times you apply for life insurance.
Gotcha. And the living benefit also holds true regardless of the amount of coverage you have.
There are limitations on the living benefits, depending on which living benefit we're talking about. The long-term care benefit, meaning chronic illness, is capped at $1.5 million. So is the critical illness benefit for that's heart, cancer, stroke, the critical injury. There's caps on it. Yeah. But generally, most people's portfolio, if they do max out the amount of coverage, they're maxing out the amount of living benefit that's available. But again, everybody's situation is different. Yeah. Everybody has their own personal situation.
Gotcha. If a member wanted to get in touch with you guys, what is the best way for them to reach out to you, get in touch with you, and get talking?
So Michael, why don't you share your number? Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, it's probably my number. It's Mike Sabato. And phone number, I'll give you direct cell, and I'll give you my office line. Office line is 862-701-5555. Cell number is 201-247-0949. Call me on either number. I'm checking them regularly, and I will 100% get back to them. And I have a whole team now working with me, Bill. So we're busy with you guys. We're getting a lot of traction. Love to hear from them, and they will hear from one of us within the 24 hours, for sure.
Mike, why don't you share your email address also?
Yeah, it's M as in Michael Sabato. My last name is Sabato at nlgroupmail.com. Feel free to email me also.
Great.
I'd love to hear from you guys.
Is there any particular place that members can go online to visit in terms of getting more resources or anything like that if they wanted to do some homework prior to contacting you guys?
Mike, you want to give your website out?
I would think it's just a National Life. It's a National Life.
Nationallife.com.
Yeah,
Nationallifegroup.com.
nationallife.com would be the best spot for them to go and look up the living benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you spending a couple minutes today talking about this stuff. It's very important message for our members to get and take back to their families and discuss their options and really look at this because never more than now, I think this type of situation is driving that message home to our members and their families. So really appreciate you guys, what you guys do for us, and look forward to seeing you guys again soon. And we'll be in touch over the next couple weeks or so and see what else we can do moving forward.
Thanks again so much, Bill. And again, just to everybody out there, please be safe and thank you again so much for what you do for all of us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill.
Great.
Stay safe,
you
everyone.
guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to another great episode of FMBA Nation, and stay tuned for some more great content to come. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also listen on the NJFMBA YouTube channel, as well as Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and the Google Play Store. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the FMBA Nation podcast, please email us at nation@njfmba.org.